Now this is a brand that I've been wanting to try for a while now. Callaway. Game on. Now as you can see, I've not even unboxed this set of irons, so let's do the job right here. Now in this video, I'm going to test them against how far I hit my current set of irons. So I'm going to give you those yardages, and we're going to go through, once we can get in here, the difference between actually what is probably regarded here as, in inverted commas, cheap set. For this set, it's £499. Now, I'm saying cheap because in today's prices, that really is. Now, get down in the comments. Have you heard much about this brand? I'm really making a meal of this. Have you heard much about this brand? If you have, what do you think of them? And what do you think of that price point? Is that a lot? Is that too much? Is it something where you're like, ooh, you know what? I might be interested if these perform. So I'm gonna hit every single one of these irons and see how far they go. Right, well, we've finally managed to get the old box open. So let's have a look at what we have inside. Oh, well, we've got KBS shafts in here, so we've got some premium shafts for what, again, I'm going to say in inverted commas, is what you'd maybe class as a cheap set of irons. Whoa, these things look insanely cool. There's nothing better than taking the wrapping off set of brand new irons. Let's have a look at what these are in store. So they've sent me the 01T irons. I tell you what, I am loving that minimalistic look. Sort of getting like P790 vibes. So let's have a little look at these closer. Now have a look at this here. I said they had a sort of P790 vibes, and I love that minimalistic back. So we've got the little Callaway X here, the logo on the side, and as I mentioned there, the 01T. Then this is actually the 4-iron. I've gone for the hardest club, obviously, first out. And then we actually have a little bit of, I'm guessing, a tungsten weight here in the toe. Now there's no better feeling than taking the wrapper off for the first time of these. Right, have a look at that beauty. Tell you what, I like this sort of brush to shiny effect here on the back. You can sort of see this layer here where it's a little shinier. And then this face looks super premium. They feel super premium. Now in the grooves here, I mean, some irons that I've tested this year, I've had sort of grooves on grooves and had sort of a rougher face to help spin and help people keep that ball in the air. You don't have that, but I honestly think, you know what, for that price point, it looks a really good looking iron. And I think for a lot of people, that top line will be right in the middle of being too chunky and being absolutely spot on. And finally, look, we've got that KBS shaft in there and some lambkin grips. Right, let's get all these out. Let's tell you how far I hit mine currently, and let's start hitting. Now that is serious bag appeal there, isn't it? You know what I actually like? It's almost like this old school chunky lettering. So I've been sent here, pitching wedge, all the way through to 4-iron. Now, before we start hitting, I've made a little bit of a note of what I would play as my own yardages out on the golf course. And let me know how my yardages right now, and this is what I'd class as my stock, so when I'm not here shaking and cold, as my stock yardages I would go out and play with. So, without further ado, pitching wedge 135, 9-iron 145, 8-iron 155, 7-iron 165, 6-iron 180, 5-iron 195, and 4-iron 210 yards. So as you can see on the side of the screen, they're my stock yardages. So that's what I'm going to be putting these irons up against the test. So I can make a note of them, compare. Now they have two sets. They have the 01 and then these ones, the 01T. Now these are what they class as sort of the lower handicap style clubs. They have a moderate amount of offset. They say they help you get workability, and they have progressively different weighting as you go from pitching wedge all the way through to 4-iron to help that launch, to help workability, and help ball speed. So it's going to be interesting to see, does this £499 set of irons from 4 all the way through to pitching wedge actually perform? Now I've not been fitted for my irons this year, but I reckon sets of irons, you're looking for Taylormade P790s upwards of £1,000. So have a think, what did you last spend on your set of irons? Did you get fitted for them? And let's see how these fare. So I should point out, those numbers were my carry numbers, and I've just put this to carry on here. and let's just see how they go. I'm really intrigued. So this pitching wedge is 44 degrees, which I guess isn't strong, but it's not weak at the same time. It's probably very similar to what mine is. Now you're probably thinking, Alex, what lofts do you have right now? Well, I'm actually in the process of getting fitted for my new set of irons down at Scottsdale, so I guess I can't really give you a full test. That's something we can maybe do in the future. That leads me to the point of going, well guys, you control what we test here on the channel, and you told me I should be getting in contact with Callaway, testing these irons for you, so this is what I've done. Okay, so first impressions, that pitching wedge looks quite big for what they're classing as a mid to low handicap iron. It almost looks a bit chunky, a little bit clunky. That top line here you can see from player cam is definitely on the big side. And what is a bit weird and a bit strange looking here is this angle here, as you look down at address, it's quite aggressively up, in my opinion. Okay, now let me know what you think on that. I'm looking at down on player cam there thinking, yeah, that is a bit that way. Okay, so we're going to hit 3 away with each of the irons and just take those averages in the end. Let's compare. Oh, that's gone high. Popped up on me that. Pretty decent strike. Nice feeling off the face. Carry there, when that one loads in, 138 yards. Now look where I struck that. Straight out the middle. One thing I would say is, like, even though the face is big, it's probably quite confidence inspiring in terms of, yeah, you know what, I'm not going to miss that. Be interesting to see if I get that same vibe as I go all the way up to that 4 iron. Okay, let's hit 2 more away, then I'll give you the average of what I've just hit this pitching wedge. .144. That wasn't hit great. Be interested to see how far that one's gone. The numbers are in. The average with pitching wedge was 138 yards. So in comparison to my 135, it's a little bit longer. Now I'm not surprised at that, because I think these lofts are one a little bit stronger. But it'd be interesting to know, like, does that variance of how I hit them on the missed strikes still go as far? The longest I hit there went 144, the shortest being 132 on the final one. Okay, we're now going to go into hitting the 9 iron and the 8 iron, and the lofts on these are 39 degrees and 34 degrees, just so you know not just what numbers on the bottom, what lofts are the club. That's absolutely flown like a rocket. Blooming heck. Oh my god. No, this is crazy. Look, I just had to double check that isn't a 6 iron, that is a 9 iron, right? That is a 9 iron. 168 yards. That absolutely felt like it jumped off that face. Absolutely jumped off that face. Okay, right. 2 more away with this, let's get an average. Wasn't hit as good. A little slappy, that one. .163. Like, I'm just gonna do this. Come here, look at this. Come here. Bit of grass. I'm proving. I mean, you can see. I mean, I have got a hat on to stop my hair. But look, there's not really much wind here. It is a little downwind, but only like a 5-yard wind. Okay, final ball away with the 9. That's gone again. That's just going up and up and up. High early is what I'd say. And it feels very firm off that club face. Holy mac. Holy mac. 173. Now, weirdly, that's not actually much further than the 9, but it's a long way away from pitching wedge. Okay, here we go. I launched that great. Tell you what, they feel really good. And just to show you where I hit those first 2, you can sort of see they weren't pure out the middle. First one here, second one a little bit more heely. Well, I guess Ben Hogan might say that's out the middle. 185. Final one away here with 8 iron. That's a little Healy again. Still great yardage, that's got to be. Now this has really got me thinking. That's the last shot. Here you go, 8 iron. The last shot I hit, 181 yards. Yes, I've said it's a little bit downwind, but these are the averages that I just achieved. So here's my really big calculation after 3 shots. Just take quite a bit of maths, and I have double, triple checked this, so they are right. So the 9 iron went 164 yards on average on the 3 shots. And that got me thinking, because that's a massive difference, isn't it, between the pitching wedge to the 9 iron. Massive. 138 to 164 is huge. So then I went, you know what, well, let's see if the gap between the 8 iron and the 9 iron's a little closer. Well, that is. It's about what I'd expect. It's just over 10 yards, 15 yards difference. So the average 3 shots with the 8 iron went 179 yards. So what are my impressions of these irons? Down at the floor, I'm going to repeat what I said with that pitching wedge. They look quite big. Even though they said minimal offset, I feel there's quite a bit of offset compared to what I use currently. And this top edge, for me, looks a little chunky. But I think for most of us, I'm not saying I'm really good, by the way, I'm just saying like my personal preference. Really, I probably should be using something like this. This is really quite chunky. And then the feeling off the face, firm, but the acoustics are really nice. Shaft is exactly what I would use, and of course, lambkin grips. I'm really impressed. A little bit concerned up to this point, but I need to hit more of these. If we've got that big jump, do the 15-yard gaps increase? So far, let me get my numbers out here, they're literally blowing my irons out the water a little bit here. So my 9 iron I said goes 145 and my 8 iron 155. We've got 164, 179. That is a big difference, not only from what we started here on the Callaway irons at pitching wedge, but actually from how far my irons go in general. Now on to the 7 iron. I'm going to repeat this, but that's beautiful looking back of the club. Back appeal is great. Now, as I say, these have progressive weighting, so lower and further back into the longer irons is really going to help you launch the ball a little higher. So it's going to be interesting by the time you get to 5 iron how high these launch. Wonder if they go higher to what I'm used to. Right, here we go. It's growing on me, this face, the contrast between the grooved area and the outer grooved area. So we're going to hit 3 away with our 7 iron. First ball away. That's our swing thought. Come on, Alex, don't lose that. Not a great hit, if I'm honest. Straight down the banner. Straight down the banner. This is going to be ridiculous, isn't it? No, it's not. 186. Now, it wasn't a great hit. It's a little high in the face. I mean, this is great. You can see these today. A little high in the face. 186. First ball away. Second ball coming up. That was gunned. That was gunned. That's got to be 190, that. 193. I mean, I don't know why I'm a little bit surprised at that, because based on how far these are going, I'm not that surprised, really. It should be up there if the 8 iron's gone to where it was. That was gunned as well. That was better than the second. That was better than the second. 194. Told you. 193 to 194. It was definitely better than the second. Right. Look at that. This is the average though. So just to give you an idea, that loft for the 7 iron is 30 degrees, which is very, very strong. That puts us an average of 191. So we're now going to go into the 6 iron, the 5 iron, and just to sort of make this test a little bit more exciting, these irons say they're great for workability. So I'm going to try and throw some draws and some fades in there into hitting some 6 irons and some 5 irons. So far though, what do you make of these irons? The price point, I know they're strong lofted, but I'm seriously impressed. So some questions to answer in the longer clubs. Are they able to hit draws? Are they able to hit fades? Let's put them to the test with the average yardage. Okay, 6 iron and 5 iron coming up. 26, 23. I think these are going to be rockets. I'm thinking this will be going as long as my 4 iron. I'm thinking my club longer with these. That was gunned. This is going to be interesting. It's got to be over 200 yards. If it's not, I'm going to be disappointed based upon the results that we got so far. 197, just a little short. So with this one, because they're saying these irons are great for workability, aimed at sort of mid to low handicap, we need to be able to hit draws, we need to be able to hit fades. So I'm going to try and draw this one. 197 the first one. Oh, that's drawn like a beauty. I always find it mad when we get surprised at can you work them, but that was really good. 197 first one, 200 yards a second. Let's try now. I'm gonna go high fade. I think that iron is what I would want to be able to hit. Now, one thing I would say when hitting this one, they're not going as high as I thought they would. When I see a set of irons like this, I'm anticipating they're gonna go quite high, but I'm not getting that, which I think is a good thing, by the way, because I think that would be something that would put some golfers off. Right, high fade coming up though. Oh, that wasn't hit great, but we're going to keep it in there as an average. 6 irons done and dusted now. Let's now move on to the 5 iron. Let's see how this goes. That was seriously smoked. That's still going up, that thing. Drum roll. 211. That's higher. That's a lot higher. You can see that on the shot tracer how much higher that was. Now that's going to be interesting. 209, 211, 209. Now, I'm going to try and draw this. I said, well, the key word here though is try. Because remember, I'm trying to hit a 5 iron. We need to do a bit of a summary though, so bear with me. We've got one more club to hit after this. Definitely at least a club longer. I can't wait to see how far that 9 iron goes. This is me drawing it. There we go. That was smoked. Look at that raking draw around the corner. 206. Have a look at this one here. Let me go through my averages now while I just hit the 6 and the 5. But there we go. 5 iron, 206. Now we have one more club to hit, that 4 iron, which, remember my 4 iron I said goes around 210-ish yards. It's what I'd play as my stock. Now, I mentioned this at the start, and I didn't like how that chunky top line, you can see here on the 9 iron and the pitching wedge, look really quite chunky down from that sort of view from player cam and what you'll see. Whereas, actually, as you go into longer irons, it's a little bit more confidence inspiring. So this 5 iron and the 6 iron, as you can see here on the screen, it looks a lot better down at address with that chunky shape. I would just say, like, I'd like to see a bit more of a progressive change to that top line as you change. But I've got to be thinking here, Alex, at the same time, at the price point, there's a reason why they're going to be a little bit cheaper, but they seriously perform. Now, I know they're stronger lofted. I don't feel they're going too high. I also, on that same hand, don't feel they're going too flat. Because that's one thing you have seen in the past when you've tried cheaper irons, or definitely when I have tried cheaper irons that are strong lofted, is they just go so low in those longer irons and actually really affects how far you hit them. So just to give you a reminder, my 6 iron I said goes 180, my 5 iron 195. The lofts and the distances here, 6 iron is lofted at 26 degrees and went 192 yards on average. Now you're probably thinking, Alex, well 7 iron went 191. Well yeah, 1 yard difference. But I mean, I was a bit surprised at that really. Yes, I'd hit one that was okay in there, but 2 of them were really good shots. Not a very big difference. And we've sort of seen a few weird gaps here, like from pitching wedge to 9 iron. Then we do get the normal gapping back, or you could say normal gapping from the 6 iron. The 5 iron average at 23 degrees went 208 yards. So really, I would sort of say 6 iron should have gone maybe 200 and 5 irons 210, roughly around what I would guess based on the rest of the numbers. Can you see, I usually base the gapping on around 10 to 12 yards on difference as you go up each club. Okay, final one. This is interesting. I don't know how this is going to pan out. Final club away, 4 iron. This is 20.5 degrees. I'm a bit apprehensive about this. I don't know how it's going to go. So 4 iron. 4 iron stocks. That was a bit mishit, that. That was a bit mishit. That's gone nowhere. Wowzers. 190 yards. Like, it wasn't terrible. I can even show you where I've hit that. Look at that. see the mark there. Can you see that there? A mark. 190 yards. Look, that much went. I have normalised this. I should have said that at the start, but that's normalised. I'm going to hit 3 more to give it justice, though. Just give it a fair test and see if we can get 3 good ones. But just wanted to show you that one because that was a little bit off the toe, and that's gone like 7 iron yardage. It's a big difference. Okay, here we go. Let's hit 3 good ones, Alex. That one's good. That's gone quite low. Wow, that's gone low. First one away though, I'll take that one, that's a good strike. 196. You know, looking down at this, it feels like it's got hardly any loft on it. Well, 20.5 degrees is nothing at all, is it? I'm really struggling to feel as though I can get it in the air. Like, look at that from player cam. That's really, really sort of flat-faced. That was it, crap again. Right, I'm gonna hit a couple more here. I want to get 3 good shots. 196 was what we've got so far as a good one. 2 more. I just think it gives it, I want 185, that's a massive drop off, and it's hard to look down on this, I feel, this one. There we go. That was hit good. Flat flight though, really flat flight. This is surprising me. I know it should go flatter, but I'm trying to feel like I'm getting that in the air and it's not going. 196, 198, we'll log 2 here. Let's hit the final one. I feel like I've got to try and scoop it in the air. That was a better flight, I guess. Let's see, get an average of these. 200. 200. I mean, we've got to do some calculations here. 96, 98, 200. It's gone shorter than the 5 iron. And that's just loft. That's doing that. Now this is seriously interesting. I've got 2 schools of thought I want to run through you here. My average with this is shorter for the first time with any of these clubs than what I would expect. So I said my 4 iron, 210 yards. That's what the 5 iron was going in the Callaway irons. This has just averaged 198. And for me, it's that thing of loft. I couldn't get it a good enough strike for one, which is why I hit a few more just to give it a fair test. But even on those good shots, they were going so flat, almost not with enough spin to keep the ball in the air and go a certain distance. So there's a big thing to think about here is, to get some distance is a combination of stronger lofts, but also some launch. So what you see other brands do, and that's what Callaway said they've done here, they put weight lower and further back to help that launch. But I really found it hard to do that. So the questions that I've got is, because of the price point, does that mean there's not as much tech for one, and does that mean why we're seeing that lower flight? The centre of gravity isn't optimised as much. Only one school of thought, okay? Because you saw the 5 iron average 208 yards. So the second school of thought is, well, actually, get a 4 hybrid, because a lot of us struggle with a 4 iron in general, and just buy the 5 iron to the pitching wedge, because I actually think those clubs perform like an absolute storm. It's just this. I felt like I was trying to scoop it in the air, so I'm sure you would feel very similar. It's an interesting one. Certainly very good looking, very good sounding, lovely feel, just in those longer clubs, especially just the 4 iron. I couldn't launch it to get any sort of distance. That's my review of these beautiful looking clubs. Let's have a look at them all again. Let's get them all together. Of these beautiful looking irons from Callaway, the 01T. Very, very good. Just apart from the 4 iron. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.